Like we always do about this time.
Welcome back, fam, to another episode of the Supreme Court of Basketball Podcast. I serve as one-third of the maestros in this joint. It's Chris. My brothers Bear and Reed join us every week. We hear what it is.
What happened, people? Was gapping.
You know, another one. Been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to, but here we are yet again. Fellas, y'all good?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Couldn't
good
be better.
To go. Shoot, it's looking real good. It was a great day today, you know. Game 7, caught up, you know, everything was straight.
Yeah. A couple of them games for sure. Anything else going on in the land? Seen anything good? Done anything good?
I mean, you know, same old with the family. We got to do our theme park 1-2. That's just what it is, you know.
There it is.
We can't do it enough. Unfortunately, if I never see that rat in them ears for another lifetime, it'll be too soon. I ain't even playing about that.
Man, when I tell you, Mickey is an angry pimp because them dollars that brother consumes
every chance he get, he knows it. Yeah.
Can you imagine just having that much imagination to where you thought of something that turned into that just to keep your family's legacy? Like, man, you talk about an idea, truly magic. I mean, that whole concept is really magic.
Yeah. Yeah, and
not bad.
Yeah, and all the stories that they've told over the years has resonated with America and has been part of people's childhood. I can't say that's been my thing. I was just never a Disney kid. It just didn't.
No, I couldn't be.
I just couldn't. You know, it just
it gets a little extreme. Like, I've been in the park where, you know, I've seen adults crying because they didn't get a certain pin. And I was kind of like, hey, this is,
Oh, yeah.
This
because
is something different.
Yeah. Because the real kicker is most of the bad behavior ain't from the kids. It's the adults. They're far more fanatic about this place. Like, real rap. Like, these people come from far and wide, literally around the world. And a lot of people they go to all the Disney parks around the world. And I've talked to people who like, we just come here because we wanted to see Walt's original vision. And I'm like, it sounded a little weird to me, but give me 5 feet. And talk from, give me some distance, bro. Talk from over there. Because I can't, I don't know what you about.
I had a coworker retire, and I think she had 4 parks left on her list, and that was going to be retirement. Like, once she hit them 4 parks, then mission accomplished. So I was like, okay, I guess. I mean, hey, everybody got their own thing.
I mean, once we go to Florida, I listen, don't even ask me no more. We're never doing it again. You've gotten everything out of your system that you wanted. Hey, that's it. You know what I mean? And really all these parks, I'm so burnt out on doing that. I'm like, man, I want to do. I just wish my kids had other things that they were more, that they were into, but that they love some. My son, at least, he's a Disney freak, and that's just his birthday's coming up, so I know what he's gonna do for his birthday.
Yeah,
that's a given. At least
stuck with it.
Get that. But that's what I've been up to, man. That's same old. What you been up to, Bear?
Man, just life and doing my daddy thing, that.
That's enough time in and of itself. That's all you really need to do.
Right. I was talking to Chris like a couple of days ago. I'm talking about just taking care of home stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm supposed to get up for that. Like, I literally took a picture. Like, man, I swapped the mulch out. It looks beautiful in my lawn. Like, that's the highlight. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was some new mulch down. Like, look how bright it is.
Oh, you found a way to get the truck and all that stuff and pick up the mulch?
You got to take it into account. Yeah, I ended up having to do it because, brother, there was no way we putting it up in the car. It ended up being like a pallet and a half worth of mulch. Yeah. Like, that was like 110 bags or something like that. Some struts almost. That. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, nah, let's get this over with. And, luckily enough, I was able to get a van and got that whole thing taken care of. But that's why I got to do something. You're talking about that mental health month, man. Ladies, listen, if you're listening, because, we don't discriminate around here, but hey, men, we need a break too. And I know you're going to say Father's Day coming up, but we know how you do us on Father's Day. But we'll take it. But on the same side, you know how they do us. Come on now. But
or Mother's Day 2.0 is really what it is.
Right.
For me and you.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's for us. We have Father's Day. Like, so
we was the voices.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to some type of break. I don't know. Sometime in June, we're going to go ahead and take like a mini vacay to kind of get away. And
there you go.
You need to reset. You know what I mean? That mid-year reset, you most definitely need it. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So nothing much. Same thing as y'all. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm cutting the cable bill. That's the thing. It's been working out great. Yeah. So I found an alternative, and it's looking very promising.
Don't say too much on here. I don't know about the legality of some of these options.
No, it's legal.
Let's be safe.
No. I'm talking about like free apps. I ain't talking about nothing crazy. Yeah, between free apps and streaming, like you got to find the happy medium. That'll suffice. For the shows that you and your family watch. So, man,
whatever you do, just be safe out there.
400,
right? Or
use protection.
Like I said, we got to get you guys caught up on what's happening latest in the league. A lot of Laker news going on. Trying to figure out. Yeah, we got a couple
Basketball
of teams.
Royalty had a
very rough go at it this playoff.
Had a rough playoff. Let's dive into the fact that both, if you start to look at NBA royalty, both Boston and the Lakers went out unceremoniously. Obviously, the Lakers were worse. But the two teams, I think, even Boston, I think Boston couldn't get out of their own way in the sense that they just believed because of who they were just going to do it. The three-pointers were failing them. They didn't care. It was just like, well, but no, we're going to be okay. So let's go back, and I think this is a good way to start with it. So if we're looking at the Lakers, one, aspirations after the trade, like you said, Reese, second best defense. They were on a run. It was for a minute there where we were talking about, can they get to second place, right? That doesn't happen. And then we start looking at matchups. And most of us were like, oh, okay, I don't think this is such a bad matchup for us. I actually think this would be, Lakers in 5, Lakers in 6. Okay.
Which way we didn't. Nobody said. We just Lakers at 5. We didn't know which way it was going to go, but yeah.
Shit turned out to be Lakers at 8. Because this was, it was bad. And it wasn't. The funny thing about this to me is the Denver series, when the Lakers got swept, was closer to me than this. Even though the Lakers won a game, that series felt like a couple of better decisions and a little more composure and being able to play not to lose and just continuing to play to win. That to me felt better than this. What you saw here was youth and athleticism in all the right places take over, and they had nothing for it. Your starting center, you couldn't even put on the floor.
Well, that's another conversation.
Jackson Hayes play in this entire, and to me, it was a mistake because if nothing else, it was size. But when it was rim running, when he was engaged, I get it. You weren't going to match up amazingly, but what they got, no, there's no way he wouldn't have been on the floor at some point because you saw that this was failing. You saw them running to the rim. You had no answer for it. Koloko, somebody needed to be in that center role. And I get it. None of them are defensive specialists per se.
Better than nothing.
To be something there that we just bypassed. Because to your point, Ree, if you know you're going to get past your starting guard, which is normally where? Up top. Which means you're now going to be in the middle, which from a defensive perspective is the worst place you want a team to be. Right? This isn't soccer where you're trying to move people sideline. Right. No, this is basketball. The last thing I want you to do is be in the middle of the floor because everybody has to react. And the one thing we knew from the start, we don't have the pieces to react. So to me, there's no way that we get away with not having a big on the floor or two, or even just sitting up the middle. If they had to beat us by the 3 ball and that's all they had, then fine. We made Rudy Gobert look like he was worth the trade and every piece of asset they gave him that last game.
Didn't it? Listen, what was so bad?
Shaquille Gobert out there. I mean, he was really.
This
is a man who was averaging like 5 points prior to that game. It was some crazy number, and that spike it was nasty.
Julius Randle looked great. Julius Randle, because we didn't have anything, you had LeBron James running around playing every guy he could play that he could, defensively. I didn't understand, why the coach, like you said, Chris, you got to bring something in, right? Something's better than nothing in the paint. And the fact that you just had Hayes just sitting there looking, and I'm like, you're telling me that we'd rather play basically 4-on-5 than actually put a body in that could at least, if absorb some of it. Then at the last game, you put in a guy that hadn't played 18 months. It made no sense. And then you saw Luka. I think as a Lakers fan, what really happened is why we went on the run, because people couldn't figure us out early on, because we made that, I'm just about midseason acquisition, right? And it was something new. So they didn't know how to, get ready and prepare for the Lakers. So now, and what basically happened is during the playoffs, guess what? It wore off, and they realized, okay, we're going to beat you with youth, athleticism, speed. You don't have a big man, which, remember, that was the one thing that AD asked about, even though he been on the team, he still would have been dominant, because they didn't have a dominant big man. He could have handled Gobert. But nonetheless, you know what angers me is that this still goes all the way back to, why did the Lakers deviate and just, veer off from the path of having a bigger team? Going back, I mean, I hate to say it, we're talking about going back.
We saw it win. Yeah.
When we saw it not only win, but we could almost, because we had athletic bigs, so we could run the floor. We were defensively great, offensive. It was beautiful, because they didn't need to run plays for the big men. They played clean up, above the rim lobs. Yeah. It was a beautiful thing, and it seems like we're going against. We know that's what the league is doing. Why did we deviate from that, and we still continue to? And that's what I was saying about the whole thing moving forward. I don't know if I trust the Lakers to build a team that's going to be at least efficient enough to cover up the things that Luka doesn't do well defensively. And even now, we got to look at the coaching. It showed, brother, yeah, you're a rookie coach in every sense of the way, because no adjustments. You made the game easier for the other coach, and we saw the ultimate, what's Shannon, Lakers in 5, all that. Oh, no, bro. It looks.
See, so from a coaching perspective, there's never a time for me personally. I get gutting it out, and that's a game 7. If we lose, we're on vacation anyway. So give me all you got now. If it's not a game 7, I can't justify not pulling guys out of a game. I don't care who it is. LeBron, we saw it with Denver against the Clippers, where they lost that game or almost lost earlier, because they were not sitting Jokic out at key times, because at the end of the day, these are still people. There's a rhythm. There's a continuity. There is an expectation that you build into players when they're going to rest at that level, and to not give them that. Some people can overcome that, but I think there were a lot of things with that Lakers series that we saw. Correct youth, athleticism. We knew that was going to be a problem going in. It was the biggest critique when they got Luka. It was like, okay, well, clearly you guys are building for next year. There was no thought initially in the trade. Everybody was saying, oh, the Lakers are going to do something special next year. And then we caught a little bit of fire. And then it became like, oh, wait, I can see the Lakers in the Western Conference Final. They may not win, but I can see them getting there. And then it became, oh, wait, the Lakers might be a legit contender.
Be a finals contender, yeah.
And then it became, who in the hell left the gate open? Because what ended up happening is they got in there, and you saw all of those things that were an issue come together at once.
Yes.
You saw an incomplete roster where the Magic ran off, the clock struck 12, and we went back to them pumpkins. Mm-hmm. And then we saw a rookie coach who was trying to make decisions and not only failed in some aspects of it. Don't get me wrong. I think overall JJ had a great rookie season, but you see the difference between a veteran seasoned coach in the playoffs who understands versus somebody who is new, even with the experience he had around him. That still didn't pan out. And at the end of the day, you're the head coach. It's going to fall on you. So
yeah,
I think they have a chance. Now, the question really becomes, knowing what we know now, what do you do with the roster? Because now the big talk is that they're getting rid of Austin Reeves. That's all I see in the reports. Oh, Austin Reeves is gone. Austin Reeves is gone. And this guy's gone. And okay, here you can get this guy, but you're going to gut the roster. So you basically have LeBron, Luka, and Giannis. LeBron, Luka, and Jokic. And it's like, the sum of our assets don't equate to that. So there's a level of delusion at times when it comes to us as Lakers fans where we feel like, oh no, we're going to go get. And it's like, you would be a fool with a hole in your head in a grave to trade this piece for the sum of these pieces. Because guess what? You just watched. Half of those pieces didn't produce in this last series. Rui Hachimura, who's falling out to get him. Could he be a nice addition? Sure. Maybe something you throw in. Dalton Connect. Connect what? Because it wasn't the court.
Yeah.
So it was like, and we were high on him and pulled the guy back.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
So it's like, well, why would somebody else want all these pieces? Gabe Vincent finally had showings, but it was sporadic. It wasn't consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you would expect from a Gabe Vincent. Like, I'm not expecting him to be consistently good. Like, that's not his.
Agree.
If I'm asking him to do that, I'm asking him far too much. And even like, Austin Reeves just didn't show up after we had kind of crowned him like the best third option in the league. It was just like he kind of went missing during that series. He fizzled out crazy. And I mean, I hate to give up on him so soon, but I kind of understand. Like, if you can get better, if you can improve, but like you said, like those pieces are not enough to go and
Jared Vanderbilt.
Right. I mean, what do you do with him? Like, a lot of these guys have amounted to just that. Like you said, they're just good additions. Austin Reeves, I think he's the only guy I think can be a real difference maker if he comes in with a different mindset. Maybe it was a confidence thing. I don't know what it was. But Austin Reeves has the talent to be. Yeah. Yes. The other guys, again, they're just good additions. They're never going to be much more than that. They're not. You cannot put too much pressure on them to be producers. They can be an X factor here and there. If I'm asking Rui to be the guy for a series, again, I'm putting too much on his plate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what is it? See, because my thing is, the Laker organization has not shown the ability in recent years. I'm talking about without a Magic there to coerce or to get people to come on board. You don't have that, because as much as you want to say,
I think he's lost his recruiting power a little
right?
bit,
Magic can say that, but they know Magic's not a part of the organization, and they're looking at the steps made. And on top of that, LeBron, I think the only thing you could do, but then again, let's be honest, who's going to trade for LeBron and give up some good assets knowing he's year to year? See what I'm saying? At that, the Lakers have, it's a tall task, if you ask me.
It's a tall task, but I think if you go find a serviceable big man, you still do have a little draft capital. That pick swap is not a bad idea as well. But I think what they need to find is a big man, obviously. I think we have not addressed shooting since the Magic.
No.
And I cannot. There's no one player on the Lakers that I can think of in the last 5, 8, 10 years, 15 years maybe. Who's the last true spot-up shooter we've had? Not just a person who can shoot on a true spot-up shooter.
Danny Green? I'm trying to.
I mean, he was supposed to
even
be.
that. Yeah. I mean, even that. Danny left because they was threatening the man's life because he missed an open shot. You know what I mean? So, are you going back to Glenn Rice?
He may be. Man, you'd have to go back to that three-peat Laker
Jody Meeks, when he had a little. So I'm like, that's something that we've struggled with in a way that most teams, and it, to me, I can't even say struggle. That's something we've chosen to avoid, because there's a shooter will fall into your lap, and even with that being said, Dalton Connect, we've seen signs this season. We were very impressed with, like, hey, this kid might be actually worth it, because yes, he's a rookie, but he's older. This may actually pay. And then they didn't play him because it was a lack of defense. But it was also like, you're not getting defense anywhere else either. So why won't you let the kid shoot the ball?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. Like, at his position or anywhere else on the floor, you're not getting good defense.
No. Yeah. So the only other counter you really have is to try and keep up scoring-wise. And that wasn't there. So it's just a weird space. I think they need a big. I think they need a spot-up shooter. And I think they need a calming presence guard. They, to me, need somebody like a Patty Mills, who just knows and understands what he has to do, where to find himself. And I hate to keep going back to it. Some of these pieces the Lakers already had. If you just watched Alex Caruso, it was like that man was here in your
Man.
home. And
Yes,
you
he
kicked
was.
him out and locked the door. He came back knocking. Hey, I'll take the same deal. Nah, you gotta go.
I see.
We traded him away for Taylor Horton Tucker, a bag of Funyuns, and a Summer Jam 98 t-shirt. And it was like we stuck with that.
So what did he must have rubbed someone wrong, because how do you not
because his production was through the roof. He
Right.
might be in the top 3 in terms of plus minus, since we love that so much when it comes to LeBron James.
Especially with
serviceable, knockdown shot, defender. Everything you're looking for, you had.
There's something going on, because remember, we got to go back to it. Not only did who else did we not take? There was other players that we could have taken that were willing to come back, that we just was like, nah, I don't care. I don't know, Ben. I don't know if this is the whole Rambis situation. I don't know who's making this decision, but how do you not take Caruso? It was at a bargain deal first and foremost. And it was just like, nope, I'm cool. Like, really?
We've had enough errors in terms of, if you go back and look at people who are producing around the league.
Yep.
Look at Jordan Clarkson. You look at a few guys. The biggest one that stands out to me right now, and it was when I realized, this might not be Magic's lane. Zubac.
Boy, you know why? I think
they gave that man away for 2 Firestone tires, man. I don't know what.
And they were used.
Yeah.
And
balding. He had nails in the sidewall. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what. And Zubac listen, for what it's worth, he had somewhat of a breakout this season. And even in the playoffs, he performed well. I'm sitting thinking, like, man, he would have definitely done well for the Lakers.
I mean, God.
Yeah.
He was in the camp.
Yeah.
We didn't value, you know what? Maybe because we are still looking at the yesteryears of the Lakers, even like as far as the 2000. Okay, listen, the Shaq's not walking back through that door. Pau Gasol's not coming back through that door as of right now. So what you need to take is understand, can he fit well within the system? Can he play defense? Can he rebound? High energy effort guy. I'm taking that all day for a big man. I'm taking that all day. And especially when you've already seen we've had success with that. I'm trying to look at the scenario where the Lakers can come out okay with this. But the problem is we gave up one of our big assets for the 1-for-1 trade, which was, Davis. You have diminishing returns dealing with LeBron James, because I'm thinking 1, maybe 2 more years. That's if he stays. Because at this point, if I'm LeBron, unless you just say, hey, I'm just here, it is what it is, I'm going to ride it all the way to the end, which you're conceding, saying there is no more opportunity to win a championship, because he ain't got enough gas to go ahead. He's looking at Luka, and I know he sees it like, it's going to be some long days ahead, because he doesn't have the total package. Just going back to the conversation, we got a guy like, that plays exclusively one side of the ball. It's bad when you make Steph Curry look like a super defensive player. That's how bad you played. And I have to build the guys up around him. I don't see the ability for us to do that. And that's why I'm worried. I can see Luka, and that's another thing. Do you think Luka's going to sign with the Lakers and stay?
Well, all signs point to, and if you're listening to and following the buzz, one of the key things about Luka is loyalty. I think they need to lay that out. If I'm Luka, I'm waiting personally, because what's going to be different? What are the pieces we're looking at? And I get it. It's LA. It's the biggest market, arguably. Obviously, you got New York. But when you start to talk about basketball legacy, to be here with the greats and everything, if Kobe was still alive, Luka signed him, because he's gonna soak that up. You can tell how much he absolutely adores Kobe. And, in his presser coming out, wish Kobe and Gigi were still here to see this. So I do think his heart is with LA, but there has to be something bigger than that. You really have to start to put a team together. And if we're being honest, the last time we probably had a team that had everything it needed was that 2020 team. It was the bubble team. We had veteran leadership in our guards. We had an aging shooter, but like you said, Danny Green could still shoot. But most importantly, we had about 4 guys who could play big, and we could play small
Big,
ball big
physical,
too
you can
with
go
a
small.
Markeith
Yeah.
Moore.
Yeah.
We wore Jokic out specifically to get there.
Yeah.
Yes, he hit the shot,
Yes, we did.
but if you really look at it, it was a healthy dose of AD, JaVale, and Dwight. And Jokic could not recover from that because Dwight alone was enough physicality where it was like, okay, you're going to wear him out a little bit, but now you got 2 more to contend with. We need to get back to something that looks like that because the one thing you see around the league now is that the big man is coming back in high demand. Steven
Very high
Adams is
demand.
going to command some money. You know what I mean? You start to look around the
He's
landscape.
on the market, unrestricted.
Gafford.
Yeah.
All of these guys you're starting to look at, and everybody's kind of like, yeah, we need that. We need to get 1 or 2 of those guys in the door, I think. And if we can do that, that now opens up. I actually like Dorian Finney-Smith for what he brought to the team overall for the year.
Right.
I feel like if you had a few more big pieces that could command some level of attention, then those guys, him, Rui, these other guys become better. So when you get rid of a couple of them, fine, keep 1 or 2. Keep 1. It's going to be different because now everybody knew this is the lane to the basket. Like this, there was no concern about anything being a threat to block a shot. I think if you clean that up, things change.
You're better off putting the cone down there, but
and a black one, not even an orange.
Yeah. Not even a traffic cone. But luckily, I mean, also you mentioned the Lakers need a big, right? So they got to go out in the market this summer. They got to figure out a way to either package some they got to package some players, or they got to just pay, right? To me, the best available right now that are unrestricted coming this summer, hitting the free agent market. You got a couple of club options too, and player options, but the unrestricted guys, these are the best what I can see on the list, right? Starting down from Mason Plumlee, unrestricted. DeAndre Jordan, too long in the tooth, going into year 19. I'm not sure how much he can give you. Homie's just a glorified cheerleader as it is. Don't think that does anything for you for real. But if you just need to put a 7-footer out there on the floor as a presence, it might work. I mean, he's only going for about $3 million right now. I'm not sure, if he'll be able to ask for that next season. You got Dwight Powell in Dallas, but he has a player option. Andre Drummond in Philly, player option. Kevon Looney, unrestricted. Al Horford, again, as much as I love Al, I'm not sure a guy going into year 20. I'm about to pay $10 million or upwards of $10 million for his production, and it don't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, again, if you just want a body, you just want somebody pumping warm blood, stand in the middle. That can, I mean, at least I think even in season 20, Al could give you a couple. He can hoist up some threes, get you some boards, some good defensive plays. I mean, the Al's still good for that, right? Mo Wagner, team option. Steven Adams, which is one of the better, unrestricted. Going into year 14, he's going to cost a little bit. He's about $12 million, about 12 and a half now for his services. I mean, considering what's out there, he's you got Naz Reid, player option. Who knows? I mean, I don't assume he'll stay in Minnesota, depending on how it ends this season, how far they go, whether they make it to the finals or whether they win it. Who knows what happens? That's no guarantee he'll stay there. And that's when you get to the big guys, the last few. Miles Turner. Now's your chance to go out and get Miles Turner if you want to turn over $20 million a year or about that. You got to pony up. I'm not sure if the Lakers have the cap space to pay him that money. Clint Capella.
Or what's his motivation? I guess maybe playing with Luka. You know what I mean? Because right now, Indiana's doing just fine.
They are doing great. I mean, but again, that's never any guarantee. Who knows what players are? These dudes nowadays, who knows what their motivation is? It isn't even, I don't know what their end all and what their end game is. Is it winning NBA championships? Is it living the lifestyle? Is it I don't know what it is. Maybe Miles Turner is content enough for right now, but it could be more happy. And I mean,
very true.
But then again, the problem with that, and this is going to be a problem for any player you bring into in LA is are the distractions too much? And you got Clint Capella, now a little bit over 22 million, almost 23, and then lastly, again going into year 19, I'm not sure if you want to spend this kind of money for his services. Brook Lopez commands about 24 million. I'm sure he won't be able to ask for that going into year 19, but I mean Brook Lopez, low key in terms of a fit. Probably is the best option, despite him being the oldest.
Here already, but Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, we I mean, yeah, you put a retread on, hey, listen, let's try it again. You know, with a different personnel, we'll see how it goes this time. I mean, you got some options out there at the 5 this
I
summer.
don't think. I think that personally, the Lakers are not looking to get an older player because that means that we're trying to win now, and they don't want to. You know,
it's just an option, right? Maybe you want to maximize LeBron's last year and see what you can squeeze out of that.
I don't think they really care about it.
Probably not. I think they passed.
I think they've turned that page, and it is what it is, and they're looking forward to what can we do for Luka, because obviously they're having conversations and dinners. LeBron's not included. LeBron's pretty much shut out, and he knows. That's what I'm saying. LeBron has a decision to make. Do I stay with the Lakers, or do I go on? Because unless he's just truly content and realize, hey, I'm not going to win another one, that's fine. But if he think he still has it to make one last push, the Lakers is not going to be his option. It isn't, because they're not looking for. I think they tried it this year and said, okay, it is what it is. What can we do to get a young team assembled around Luka that we can grow with, and even with the new coach, grow with them, be cohesive, come together and actually make a run at something, get better defensively. Obviously, youth was a factor, and, defensively and offensively all the way around, which means we're probably going to have to give up. We'll probably give up a Hachimura. Really, Austin Rivers is the biggest pick, the biggest thing we have. So he may be gone in order to get some bigs, to get some more energy going there. And it really depends on what the coach really wants. I'm really trying to figure out which direction he's trying to go. So that's going to be the thing. Which direction is the coach wanting to go? I think that I think you kind of go with what you already know you saw in Dallas. Lakers don't have to figure out what's going on. They know what worked well with Luka. You're going to have to get some tall bigs around, some bigs around them, athletic, defensive, mindset. And like I said, the youth. Yeah, but dude, this is the thing, man. The Lakers have put themselves in a bad situation. And I think that Pelinka, me personally, he's living off the picks that Magic did, and the ones that he did, they weren't so great. They weren't, franchise changing. And the Luka thing fell in his lap because of his relationship. So I'm looking.
Then they extended him and got him a new title.
Right.
And gone in the first round. How?
But that's what I'm saying. It's looking bad. I hate to say it, because, I don't want my Lakers to look bad, but I don't have enough faith that we'll get it together and make the right decisions. That's the issue. I think it can be done. I just don't trust the people in the front office to get it done. That's the thing.
And of course,
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
who's running it. You know what I mean? Who's running the show? I don't know who's running the show. That's the problem. Is it the is it the Rambuses? Is it Pelinka? Is it Bus? Who's really at the helm here? Who's really saying, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is the clear direction that we're trying to go. Besides getting Luka, you've pretty much reset the clock where you have no choice but to get young. It is what it is. But at this point, are they sitting with the coach and really getting down to it and allowing the coach to kind of put a stamp on it and say, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm after. These guys who are currently free agents, they fit our system. And I think, and they're not old, too old. There's not going to be a whole lot of young talent out there that we probably want at the big spot, but there's still some quality talent that I think would help us go further. Because when you see it now, the loss of losing AD was huge, because what we gave up in that middle spot, that's what killed us. Yeah, we got Luka, but Luka gave up damn near every point he scored in the playoffs, so it didn't matter. So it's frustrating, man. It's very frustrating.
And we got to explore, just because it will be discussed. And it's a question people are asking. And we mentioned it earlier too. About giving up the assets for Giannis. Is that at all possible? What is the likelihood? What does that even look like? Do the Lakers, like you said, Chris, who's willing? I'm not sure if you have the assets to go get a Giannis for real and truly pursue that seriously. Like I know it's talked about because that's what the Laker fans do. That's what it is. Like Laker fans are going to assemble the Avengers every season. They'll go out and poach the top superstars, whether they're unrestricted, restricted, or whatever. Like we'll go out there and trade for them, or we'll pay them. Like that's the Laker mentality. Like even when it's not possible, in terms of salary cap and assets, Laker fans believe they can go out and get whoever they want. Is that even a serious conversation to be having this summer?
To me, the only way it becomes serious is if Giannis has specifically expressed that this is where I want to be. And for some reason, they're like, look, you brought us a chip. We're going to help. We'll work with you. But in any other case, why would you? Luka, I mean, for AD's talent and everything, Luka, there's no way I would have been Dallas and you would have still held on to them 2 first-round picks. There's not a scenario where that would have worked for me.
Yeah, you got to come off of that too, no doubt. If I'm Dallas, you got to. Absolutely. Yeah. That would have been.
Even though I'm the one place in the call, it would have been like, hey, I thought about it and this is what it'll take. What do you say? Done. Yeah. And we've seen Pelinka give up more than he should have, because another guy who was a Laker, I don't know, a Josh Hart. Man, when I tell you we've given up more talent, if we just held on to 2 or 3 of these guys, who knows the direction the Lakers.
Josh Hart, Julius Randle, Caruso,
Jordan Clarkson.
It might have changed the fortune.
We can,
yeah. I've given up on the Ingrams and those.
Lonzo and you know,
and that's only because of his injury. Like otherwise, I love Lonzo.
Absolutely.
Give me a healthy Lonzo. I'll take him over most.
Any day. Yeah,
he's far better than your league average point guard, and he does so much more. But the guys like the Kuzmas, y'all can go somewhere and you can go play in the big 3 for all I give a damn. I can't fight for y'all no more.
Yeah. But I think that's what it would take. And then the question becomes, okay, great, you pull it off. You are going to have to decimate the roster to pull it off. You're going to have to give up anything outside of LeBron and Luka, basically. So then it becomes, okay, you've got these 3. Who are you putting around them? Now, we do know, traditionally, once you have that team in place, you start to get more savvy veterans. But then you're going to be in a minimum salary type deal. So it'll be, okay, well, those 3 might be able to carry it, but I mean, you still have to fill out that roster. And I think that's why I think the Lakers need to change their mentality. We've lived in that old glory for so long that I think we have to get to a place to where we are building a team. And then every year we're just looking to finish it. You know, every year we are good to turn something over. We're good to just go, nope, we're getting rust. Here we go. Let's do this and give away this and do that. And now, okay, doesn't work. I think we need to get into a building of additions. If we look at it from an Infinity Stone standpoint, okay, we got 1. All right, we got 2. One of them's fading out. Okay, now we need to go grab a few more pieces to help kind of assemble this thing. And then eventually, there'll be another stone that'll come. Because at the end of the day, love it, hate it, it is LA and it's the Lakers. Not just LA, but the Lakers. There is going to be someone interested in coming here. But you need to be able to show people why they should be coming here. So I think it is a legit conversation if Giannis or somebody expresses that they want to be here.
Yeah, and from what I understand, Giannis is not necessarily he's not hard up to be in a major market. That's not his thing. That's not his focus.
And I can see
he doesn't mind playing in a smaller market. Like, and that sounds like the kind of Giannis that I think I know. That sounds reasonable and sensible. But I mean, but is it possible if it were? Do you give up Luka for Giannis? Is that a conversation you'd be willing to entertain if you're the Laker GM? If you can turn over Luka for Giannis about as straight up as you can get, I mean, you probably have to do some more stuff in the mix to make that work. But if that's a conversation, do you take that phone call and do you entertain that? This early, it's just one of them scenarios I'm throwing out there as like you never know. Do you use him as leverage to go get Giannis now?
But here's the thing.
If you this is just a make believe scenario that it's not very likely. But I mean, if the offer comes across your table, do you take a good hard look at it? Do you think about it? Do you figure out how to make it work?
I think you think about everything.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it, you have to. So if I'm a GM, I'm taking every call. Doesn't matter who it's for. Because I at least want to put myself in a position to where I can hear and figure out what this does on the back end for us. Right. So if we say, great, we'll give you Giannis for Luka. Okay. So what does that solve? Legit superstar, proven winner, both sides of the ball. Okay, that's check. Now, what do you need to build around Giannis versus Luka? What does that look like different? Is the way the team constructed now a better fit for a Giannis than a Luka? What pieces do you swap out? So I think you have to listen to it. At the end of the day, no matter what, they still need a big and they still need a shooter.
Do you need a big as much with Giannis on the floor?
Absolutely not. Not as much. But
you still need it.
Giannis is still going to want to operate downhill. Giannis is not a back to the basket guy.
Right.
So Giannis is the juggernaut. He gets a running start, it's a wrap. Right. He picks up a little momentum, little speed, you're in trouble. But yeah, he may mask some of that, but you're going to wear him out the same way you would anybody else without having something back there to defend. So you're still going to need something. It may not be as much the same way we were able to do more when we had AD, who, for all his greatness, didn't really want to be back to the basket, right? He could. Mm-hmm. I felt personally he was best when he started inside and went out, but that's just not what he wanted. So to answer your question, yes, you have to listen to it and figure out what's going to get you to your goal quicker. So,
yeah, I agree. But I also feel like to get Giannis means also resetting the clock again, because I don't know if our team is fully constructed. We still have to, if LeBron was 3 seasons earlier, I may say, yeah. But the problem is he's on the back end. And we'd have to probably, I say, at the end of the day, there's a lot more you have to add to that. Would I want to do it? I think you have an easier time of filling out a roster, keep having Giannis and getting some quality big men and trying to fill in and gain some depth, and let's see what we do that. Because with Giannis, you're going to have to get a great wing player. And I don't know who's going to be available anytime soon for us to cover that spot. That's why I'm looking at it and saying, as great. Now, Giannis with Luka, of course, obviously, I would take it. I'm just thinking a way that we're constructed, unless we're willing to say, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to get them. We starting from scratch, and we're going to keep assets built. We're going to build up and hold on to draft picks and things like that, and start to fill out the roster that way by making great trades in the free agency and drafting well. I'd take that too if that's the option that they want to go. But I'd most definitely entertain it. That's Giannis. You got to entertain that. But I'm looking at it from a viewpoint of that Lakers are going to have to make a hard decision real soon. They're going to have to. And I think that the only option that we have is, like Chris is, we're going to have to build out this team like everyone else is doing. We're always thinking I think we've banked on the fact that we're always going to get big names. And how many big names are there really around? You know what I mean? And that's the problem. So it's going to be interesting.
So let's shift a little bit to the other side of the coast where we got the Celtics, because they did the building. They got the pieces in place. Mm-hmm. So on to the other side of it. While the Lakers went out pretty much without much fight, the Celtics went out surprisingly, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
Ree is our resident Celtic fan / expert. What do you foresee for the future of your beloved Celtics?
Let me start off by saying, man, after game 2, right?
Yeah.
I'm in all my Celtic regalia. I got I'm blue and white down, Celtic cap, shorts, the whole 9 that day, man. I'm running errands. I'm out doing stuff. Go pick up some Chinese food at the spot over here, man. I'm watching the game on my phone. It was looking good. I'm like, cool. We're going to make up game one, even the series out, go back to New York with a 1-1 series, a 1-1 split, and try to get back our home court advantage. Things are looking great. That third quarter commences, man. I should say that third quarter continues. Shit starts going downhill. Now I'm panicking. Nah, this is too much like game one. It's too much deja vu. We're up 20, blowing it. They're coming back. Here we go, though. Can't get anything started on offense, but we selling for threes. It's chucking threes and staying committed to that. Next thing I know, shit, the game is tight. Now it's coming down the wire. You got Jalen Brunson, one of the best closers in the game, easily. If nothing else, I got to tip my hat to that brother, man. He has done his thing, to say the least. I mean, as a closer in this game, man, there's nobody. To me, if my money's on the line, I'm going with him down the stretch. He leads his team to victory again. They snatched win number 2 from us at home. In the same fashion, again, us leading 20 points and losing it to lose the game at home. Man, I go home and take all my Celtic shit off ASAP. I'm pissed off. I didn't want to talk the rest of the damn day. I think there was another game one day. I didn't bother watching. It was like, forget it. I don't even care. My team is looking real goofy right about now, like some straight up clowns. Like, I'm pissed off. So, fast forward to, I believe, Thursday, game 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we have a shot. We might be back in the series. All right, game 6. We can play to come back to Boston for game 7. It'll be one of the best comebacks in team history. Though by this time, Tatum's out. Now we know Jaylen Brown may have had a meniscus tear, sprain, something to that effect. But there's something up. He's slightly hobbled. He's not 100%. Okay. Porzingis has been giving us the bare minimum, and apparently there's some illness going on, some mystery illness we can't get down to the bottom of. It's been lingering. It's been a problem for the last few seasons. It comes and goes. All right, but I still like our chances. I think we got enough fight. I think we're desperate enough. I think our back is up against the wall, and we'll come out fighting like a wounded animal. Right? There's no way to go but forward. We got it. Let's at least force a game 7. Man, that shit was heartbreaking to go out the way we did. After that game 5, that false hope I was given, that glimmer of hope I had that we had a chance to make it a game 7, to make it competitive, and to come back, if not win it all, at least make it a good game 7. That broke me. So now we're looking at a Celtic team next year returning without Jason Tatum towards Achilles. So that's pretty much a season right there. We got to give up. He's not there next season. We got to count on him not being there. At least a season. Jaylen Brown, his meniscus, who knows what happens with that. We have some UFAs, which is free agents, unrestricted, and Al Horford and Luke Cornett. He was a revelation in game 5. A big reason for our win in game 5, right? He played monster, 7 blocks, double. He showed what he can do. Catching reverse lobs in the whole 9. Like, he looked like he was a seasoned all-star. Next year, I have as many question marks for our team as I do the Lakers, but because some of them are, one of those question marks is a guy who's a mainstay. He's a fixture in Boston. He's not likely to be shipped out. He's got to work through his injury. I don't know what happens to Jaylen Brown, if there are any talks to trade him, to move him. If that is that, I'm not sure at this point if that is the front office. So. I don't think so either, but you just never know. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised though.
No, it wouldn't surprise me none.
Say, look, let's break this thing up, because the amount of money with new leadership coming in.
Yeah. Because really, what better time, when you think about it, what better time to break it up than right now? You got the perfect excuse. Jaylen Brown, Tatum is going to miss that next season. Obviously.
So do you get rid of Jaylen Brown because of that, or you keep him? Because my understanding is, like, listen, it's still a business. You still got to fill the seats, because they're going to give up a lot of people. We know that the team that you have now, that will never be. That's done. Because if you think about it, like you said, in 2 seasons, it's going to take another season for him to recover. And then the following season, he's going to try to regain get back to full form and trusting in everything in his Achilles and not be afraid. So, and you got guys like Hoyford. Come on now, you really plan on keeping him?
I think he's unrestricted. Al Horford and Luke Kornet. Two of you are bigs. You're veteran big, and your next up are free agents this summer. And again, are they waiting around for Jason Tatum to come back into the fold and to put the band back together? I don't know. I don't know right now.
I'm not saying Rutul, but in the off season, after this season, you're talking about Holiday, Porzingis, Hoyford, those three in particular. I think you're going to probably have to release them, or to make a trade, get rid of them. I think that
I don't know how much of an asset Porzingis is at this point.
It's not about an asset, but at this point, I mean, health. We wish you the best, but there's a lot of health issues going on, and we don't know what it is. Like these are some I don't know. There's no medical terms in the dictionary for it yet. It's still truly not fully discovered. I don't know what it is, but these issues and these spells of being sick and no energy and all these things. I don't know what you do with that. I mean, when you think about it, I think I would do that. This is going to be a down season anyway. So if they could do that, get younger in some of those spots, make any necessary trades, and then wait for that's if you keep Jalen. That's the thing. Do you just trade for him and get a lot of assets? Because your team, the Celtics, is good for that. About just getting like assets and being overstocked and
draft
being
picks.
ready.
But that hasn't really been Brad Garrett's model as much as it was Danny Ainge.
Right.
Danny, that was his thing. Like he had a draft pick fetish, if you will. I don't know what it is.
But you can most definitely, get something on the market for Jaylen Brown. You can get some pieces.
Oh, definitely. But I'm saying, what is the return? Like, what do you get back with Jaylen Brown that makes your team a champion? That makes him a real contender. That puts us back at the top of the East. Like, I don't think there's. I mean, listen. Luckily, part of the core: Derek White, Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser. Those guys are here for the foreseeable future, barring trades, right? Unless they're packaged for something better. But do we gut the team for who's available? It's like, who are the top free agents that are worth going after and giving up those assets in return for? That's the bigger question. Like that's part of the issue. I don't even know what would you be giving up Jaylen Brown and a package with Jaylen Brown for? What's available out there? And we know for whatever it's worth, Boston is kind of a hard sell to free agents, and it just has been. We've been fortunate because we built this team through the draft. These are homegrown guys. I don't know if we can just go out and, I mean, it's not the Lakers. Like, we don't have the expectation to go out and poach the top talent in the league. That's not the Celtic way. And it has not been. Again, we've been fortunate to find these players in the draft and develop that talent. And we were kind of like Golden State in that regard. We built this team. Derek White comes aboard as a free agent. Got Drew Holiday, a few other pieces, Kristaps Porzingis, so on and so forth. But the core of that team, Brown and Tatum, I mean, because we have one, do we need to dismantle it? I think we need to start looking at some other things. I did not like how we played. The game 3 win in New York. I did not like that win because it only reinforced.
False gold for sure.
That's all. It said, you know what? It does work. If you stick to it, part of me is like, you almost got to respect that level of resolve that they just said, we're going to commit to this no matter what. Win, lose, or draw, we shooting threes. First 2 games, 100 3-pointers. 25 for 100. They're shooting 25% from the 3. You're living and dying by a shot that you're only making 25% of the time, 1/4 of your shots.
No, don't miss the part where how many like almost 50% of it was uncontested.
Right.
If
we count that, right.
Out of 100 shots, 40% of it was uncontested.
But we press on and continue down that. Jason Tatum goes down. Never have I seen us move the ball that fast than when he goes down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We getting all kind of ball movement. We getting all kind of manufacturing easy points. I mean, we got the luck of some easy calls at home too. It happens. That home cooking helped us a little bit too in that game. Jalen Brunson fouling out and you know what I mean? Like picking up like 4 fouls in the third quarter. That's unheard of for a superstar. Like it was like whatever, but I'll take it. I don't think it would have affected the run we were going on towards the end of the game anyway, but it certainly helps you a little bit. I did not like our style. We need to address that. But before that, now, again, our biggest obstacle is our personnel. What do? We have a hole to fill. We can't go out and enter him and just, what do we get, a rental superstar for a year until Tatum comes back? And what do you do to get that? Like I don't even know if there is a solution for our problem other than waiting it out.
Yeah.
And that's what it's so much more fucked up is that we just have to wait it out. The Nuggets have now been eliminated, and the table is set for Minnesota and OKC. So now we have the finals set in both conferences. It's anybody's to win. The East is certainly wide open. Indiana, again, for my money in the East, they look to just, I don't know, that team is just so well balanced, and you got so many guys. Good for the NBA. We get a revival of that rivalry. Yay, that should be fun.
Yep.
You know, we get to see what that young Thunder team can do against Minnesota, which I suspect that series goes all of 5. I don't know if Minnesota has enough, but you can just never know.
Just 5? You going 5 with that?
I'm going
wow,
5.
okay.
If I'm taking my pick, I'm saying OKC and 5. They just, you know. I don't see Minnesota having a real answer for them dudes.
I think that somebody has the potential to grab greatness right now because and to achieve, superstardom. I think it's there. It's up for grabs. This, think about it. We have some young bulls now. We got your boy in OKC. We got your boy in New York, and we got Minnesota. Who's gonna grab it? It's up for grabs. All the big dogs are old now. The Currys, the LeBrons, all those guys, the KDs. KD is not as old as both of them, but he's still, he's in limbo land. Like, we don't know what he's going to do. We don't know where he's going to go. Like, at this point, he's been nothing. He hasn't done anything since, playing with Golden State. So he's no threat at this point. But which one of these young fellas is going to grab it and take it right now? And I think that it's a bigger potential. As much as I love OKC and they dominated in Game 7, I think that matchups like this has been, and it's always a series of matchups, but these matchups were favorable for a lot of teams this year, especially because the injuries that happened to multiple teams that, you're talking about. Because I thought that before the injury happened, Golden State, it was set up for them. It was set for them to make a deep run.
Yeah. But
we know what happened with that. Steph went down, and that's another conversation that we'll dive into. But I think that New York, this is, if you think about in the past, and this is, I know, guys, we're going back when, the only thing that really stopped, when you think about it, the Knicks from winning the championship and all the good teams that they had was Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon and Jordan. And nobody thought they were going to beat those two teams. But this is the first time, since then, that I believe that they have a true legitimate shot, not just to get there, but to win it. But I think that they've been battle tested in this postseason. And if they can get past Indiana, I think that they can beat any team in the West. Because Brunson, they play with a grit to themselves that I love. And I think that it's something about them. They have like kind of an old school feel. I think Indiana does. That's why it does too. That's why I believe that if there was a time that I thought the East was going to win since the Celtics, it would be this year. And I think that it's a legitimate shot at either New York not getting there since the 70s, since Willis Reed, or do we go at, Indiana? It's going to be interesting to see. I think that, obviously I'm mad because my boys ain't in there, but there was too many opportunities. Clippers, this was their best time that they could have won and that they couldn't get past of it. If there was ever a year that the Clips could have stopped clipping and won, it would have been this year.
Yeah.
Because I think that had they, it's sad, but I don't, I'm looking at Minnesota and I'm looking at OKC. This is a young Bulls game right now. And these young Bulls got a chance, like I said, to grab it, man. I'm just want to see who's going to grab it and achieve greatness. But so far, if I would bet on anything, I've been looking at the play of Brunson. There's something about his grit and his big shot capability, and he fights. That's one thing. in the later stages of the game, when it's close and on the line, he's not afraid to make the shots. He's not afraid to take it to the basket, draw the foul, get to the free throw line. He's a much smarter player than the other two. And that's the thing and it's going to come down to if Thibodeau, is he going to burn the players out? That's what it's going to come down to, because we know historically that's what Thibodeau does. Are the players going to be burnt out? Because I'd say games. I think this is a 6-game series. I think it's going to be a hard fought game. It's going to come down to, because I think Indiana have the potential. If you let them jump out on you early, it's over with. They do not give it up. And that's the thing about that team. But I still think that this is the best. This is the equal match. That, you're talking about that New York Knicks against the this is it's going to come down to the adjustments they make. This is going to be a real coaching battle. And that's going to be the beauty of it. This is what I've been waiting for, because, during the first 2 rounds, it was just like, you kind of knew, you know what I mean? Now, for the exception of course, having all those injuries, you kind of knew, like, okay, they're going to get past these teams. They're going to win. It's going to go, except, even my Lakers, we lost. I expected us to win, but, really what happened with us, our inefficiencies came to life, and it is what it is. But I think these two teams, and I'm a West Coast, I'm a Western, West Division all the way. I'm a Laker fan, so gotta be. But I'm still gonna say I believe, man, it's coming out the East. I feel like the winner between New York and Indiana, bruh, because I'm seeing what I'm seeing from those two guys, I like better than what I see from the two young Bulls are coming out the West. I think they got a little bit more in them. Listen, Shea, don't get me wrong. Shea, he's smooth. I love his game. I love how he attacks. But I think that Brunson and Halliburton are showing that they trying to eat right now. And that's what I'm looking for. I think you need to have that. They going at it and they leaving it all on the court. And you have to do that at this stage of the game. Playing in the finals and your divisional round finals. Yeah. I know that sounds crazy because I'm a Western Conference guy. I know. But I just truly believe what I'm seeing. And don't get me wrong, I don't like saying this, but I just got to call it for what it is. I really believe the winner out of those two because they're going to be battle tested. They're going to go into that finals ready to go. And they're going to be, and they both have squads. They both got squads. That's what I'm saying. I mean, don't get me wrong. OKC, they handled business today, but that was partially due to what Denver didn't do. We did, you know what I mean? That they had injuries too that kind of hindered them. So that's another thing. See, this injury bug, man, it really killed the playoffs this year. It really killed the potential what ifs and what if they would have been healthy? Who would have won that series type deal? So that's why I'm going with it. And they've stayed relatively healthy on the East in the Eastern Conference. So that's why I'm choosing it. I know, Chris. Don't do it like that.
Well, no. The funny thing is, this is probably the first time where I don't know. Like, I can legit say that I could see all 4 of these teams winning because there isn't a clear-cut favor, right? With the elimination of the Nuggets, you lose the experience, the battle-tested, been there, done that, and the best player arguably over the last 4 or 5 years. So you look at what Ant-Man was doing. I mean, they've gotten rid of teams. You have Rudy Gobert sightings in that, so you have a lot of pieces. You see what OKC, and our biggest knock on them has always been they've got the talent. They've been building toward it. I think Sam Presti is probably arguably the best GM right now in the game. But even with that being said, now when you get to the East, there's something about Minnesota's matchup that I could see them giving some folks some problems. But when you look at how Miles Turner can stretch the floor and how much energy and speed they play with, and more importantly, the coaching of Rick Carlisle and where he's been and what he's been able to do and how he's able to navigate that. Same thing with Tibbs. Tibbs, you always run the risk of Tibbs will play you, 62 minutes in 4 quarters, and you don't even know how that's possible, but it'll happen. You know what I mean? So it is honestly the first time where I don't have a clear-cut favorite. I really don't. I could see, given the right circumstances, any of the teams left win. And I think that's probably where my interest is going to be, is just to sit back and see how it all unfolds, because we haven't had that for a long time. Like, if the Celtics had got there, it would have been the Celtics, in my opinion. If,
Yeah.
Because
you would have chosen the Celtics. Okay.
A healthy
Celtics, I would have went with them, because if they had made it there, because I think just their level of experience and where they dominate you is on great wing play, and just being able to wear you down eventually. Because the one thing they normally will have is somebody on this. What they did with the 3-ball this year was crazy. I don't know what Missoula's, and I get it. There's something to say what we do. But one of the best things about being a coach is being able to understand that we got to do something different. This ain't working. And I think they never got to that point, which was something that blew me away, to where it was like, okay, 3-ball is what you rely on. Yes, it's what you do. Yes, if you a law of averages, but these averages ain't working for you, and you've lost 2 home games. That enough would have been the pause for me, to where I just would have said, hey, okay, what else can we explore? Where can we find a weakness? What other crack can we put in their armor, just in case these 3 balls don't come back? And Reed, to your point, I think the game was fool's gold. They won in convincing fashion, and it was like, you idiots, see, we know what we're doing. And it was like, no, you don't.
No.
Because even if Tatum hadn't have gone down, I don't know that you guys would have still won. You know what I mean? Because the way things were going, granted, he was having a great game. The unwillingness to think outside of the 3-ball was enough for me to go, I don't know if that's going to pan out all the way.
That 3-ball,
and eventually
man,
late in the third quarter, by the fourth quarter, there was always a momentum swing in New York's favor, no matter what we did. I mean, but then again, that's because if you're not getting but threes, and you're not forcing the issue, like, I mean, they're gonna start feeling themselves. That just happens. And let's just say we don't shit away both of those games. We get one of the two. We figure out a way to win. But without Jason Tatum, so now we're in the conference finals. I don't feel good about that either. Like that again. I don't want to show up there just to get blown out. Just to say we got there. Just to say, look, we persevere without our leader, and we pushed past that obstacle, and we got to easing our front. But honestly, it's weird, because it's a weird position and a weird time. There are a lot of teams in similar positions: Lakers, Celtics, Warriors.
It's identity years.
They're left with a lot of decisions to be made. Nothing but questions. Again, I don't even. Again, you guys asked me about, like, what do we do next? I couldn't begin to tell you. I think the Lakers have a better grasp on it, because you still have players that are healthy. They just didn't perform well. They got to go out and get some more pieces. They got to figure out. I mean, you got Luka and LeBron. LeBron has a player option this summer.
LeBron,
like, let us not forget that he does have a player option. I'm just saying, like,
LeBron James is old. Technically, you only have Luka.
Okay, but
LeBron James is. So what I'm saying is, you still have 2 guys.
No, but we got to wait at least a year, and we don't know what happens in that year.
Right, but at least you know what it's attributed to.
Yeah.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys have more of a grasp.
We're talking about. I'm just saying, though. I'm talking about from a standpoint of the Lakers. There is no. You can't even get anything for LeBron at this stage in his career, right? Luka is an unknown as far as what he's going to turn out to be, other than what we've already had. So I'm looking at it from that standpoint and say, you guys, I have to see, I don't know what your assets look like, that you have, to where you could, make some moves. Listen, even if you have to move Jaylen Brown, you still have Tatum. Jaylen Brown still can give you a lot of assets which you can work with. I don't see it from moving. That's the thing I'm worried about the Lakers. I look at your team and say, you have Tatum. I think you have a great organization. Now, I know that you're going to have new ownership and everything, so that may become a factor, because we're talking about different numbers now as far as what we're willing to spend. But I looked at that, man, and when I'm gonna be honest with you, Reed, it was disgusting watching y'all shoot them dead. Listen, man.
I
hate it.
Come on, man.
I hate it. that many threes, and it's like to get it's like, okay, we're not going to switch it up. Like we did this different. The whole season
until we're forced to.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's a lot of all these teams that we see that are great right now that are real good are young. And let's not forget, like, you got a young Rockets team that's greatly coached. That I think, with a piece here and there is going to be a major contender.
There are a few veteran presence away from really reaching their potential.
Even Detroit.
But the reason I say that, hear me out. What I meant by that is you guys still have your pieces healthy, providing that LeBron exercises this player option to stay with the Lakers next year, right? Because it is up to him. He has an option. He can't. Where would he go? I don't know what the market's like for LeBron, what his interests are, what his desires are. We don't know. But he has an option. But providing that he stays, you got LeBron and Luka. It's just a matter of fine-tuning your roster, building around them to make it work. Whereas we're in a year of purgatory, where we don't know what's going to happen. We got to wait to see how it plays out. We don't know what the front office has planned for Jaylen Brown. We're waiting it out for Jason Tatum. We still have a nice core of our role players, but that's not enough. We're not, as currently constructed with just Jaylen Brown and that team we have now without making any additions, if they keep Jaylen Brown this year, if that's where we're going, and then they're not exploring any other options, what are we? A play-in team? Maybe. Where the Lakers, you're in a much better position. Unlike the Warriors, another team. You got to figure out, what do you do now that Steph is a year older, coming in a year older? Yeah, Draymond's a year older. What do you do with Kuminga? Right. Now that there's a market for him, it's got to be now, considering his play in that series. He can go out and get the money he wanted now. Can you keep him? Well, are you going to pay him that money?
They kind of messed him over, though, because they know that they kind of set the market when they did him like that.
Is Draymond a part of their future? Like, they got some moves to make. So the better veteran teams, Denver, that's a summer of questions.
Yeah, because he wasn't playoff Murray this year, and Jokic need help. It's clear, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. There's been a change right now in the league, and you see it, and it's arrived. But the teams that had done it organically, realizing that we're gonna win and be a team by committee, not by two names, and everything else is nothing. We're gonna stockpile, draft picks. We're gonna go ahead and be young, athletic, and guys that can at least operate within a system, that we can play great defense, rebound, do the basics. You know what I mean?
It feels a little bit like this playoff, the final series in both respective conferences is kind of foreshadowing of the future if those veteran teams can't figure something out this summer. Denver, Golden State, Lakers, and the Celtics.
It'll be the rise of the youngsters.
That's what it looks like right now. Yeah. Like, this is their time to take their place, if they so want. You still got to go out there and take it. Ain't nobody giving you nothing.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's up for grabs.
It's really completely up for grabs. If the Lakers can't figure something out, but you got Dallas. But then again, we're acting like things are so the conclusions are so foregone. We're acting like we know for certain. Again, Kyrie, player option. He may not want to stay in Dallas. We don't know what his future is. Like, we don't. You got LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, player options this summer. They got some exploring to do.
Yeah.
They are teams that are going to make some pitches. You might not believe LeBron is. You might think he's too old to attract. No, trust me, he's still one of the baddies. Niggas are still hollering. If you get what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. That's that finely aged. That's that. You know what I mean. That Lisa Ray, or you know what I mean. Like, niggas is still trying to get at it. You know what I mean. It ain't that ain't changed nothing. Don't get that twisted for 1 second. So you still got some moves that can be made. Hell, even some trades if you think you might not have, if they may not return, but unfortunately it's their option to make. But I don't know, man. This is going to be a hell of a summer because you have this youth movement going on right now, and it has been largely in part to some major injuries. Steph didn't get to finish the series out. I know they were trying to get to Game 7 because they would have had a 3-4 day break for him to get healthier to come back and play. But you got some pieces that are available this summer, either the restricted, unrestricted, player option, team option. A lot of this might be another blockbuster summer. It feels like that because there are so many question marks in the future of a lot of the top franchises. Because again, I can't even begin to answer the question of the Celtics. I don't know if you guys see a solution for you guys, for the Lakers, for the Warriors, Nuggets, like those teams are going to have to like do some soul searching to figure out what it is they want to do going forward in the future.
Yeah. I think that's the moral of the story. There's just going to have to be, the cool thing is we get to sit and wait and see. But, a healthy Dallas waiting in the wings could get interesting. We still can't discount that. The Lakers have been able to pull off things more so than most would be able to at this point. So you really don't know. I think that's the, I guess, depending on how you look at it, because, as a fan of a team, you would want to know that, hey, we're something to contend with now. But the summer's going to tell us a lot. I agree with that.
Yeah, well, it's going to be fun because I think this is going to be a great Eastern and Western Conference Finals.
Oh, no doubt.
I think it's going to be, instead of blowouts, you just know what team is going to win. It's like you said, Chris, it's truly up for grabs. And that's what I want to see. I don't want to see a blowout. I don't want All right, I don't want any predictability. I just want to know it's going to be some great games. And if we can get them at least to a game 6, that's even better for us NBA fans. We just want to see great basketball. And I think those are great teams that show great basketball. It won't be overwhelming 3-point shots and everything. I think that's going to be kind of tame, for the both series. It won't be them Celtics shooting up 100 in 2 games.
Yeah, in 2 games.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. That's what it is. So.
And I know it's early, but I just want to get you guys' opinion on this. I've already kind of weighed in who I thought and I'm only making my picks now because the finals have not, the conference finals haven't started for either respective conference. But from my point of view, I like OKC, Indiana. Like I'm not saying you guys need to make it like a definitive pick, but who do you guys think? I know it's wide open. We've said it a million times, and it is pretty wide open. But who do you guys think in terms of like matchups, how things are going to fare? Who do you see that those last 2 standing?
Between OKC and Indiana?
I mean, but no, just of the 4 teams remaining, who do you see are the last 2 standing? I got OKC, Indiana in the finals.
Ooh.
I think I'm leaning more OKC than Knicks.
Really? The Knicks?
Yeah, I'm thinking Knicks.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great for the NBA. That would be great. Oh, wow. You know what?
And you know what, Bree? I don't exactly know why, but just in the moment of being asked the question, just my instinctive answer, for some reason it's Knicks, and the more I'm thinking about it, I think there is something to get over Boston and to get through Boston to where you talk about Brunson being as clutch as he is. Mm-hmm. And I think there is something about being able to knock off Boston that can carry them in a way that, I think my initial thought would be OKC Knicks.
It's like that next progression.
Almost like we cleared that hurdle. We got that monkey off our back. There's a certain level of confidence and a feeling of, okay, if we always say to be the best, you have to beat the best. And he went down, but mentally still you beat the best. In essence, you beat the defending champs. So I could see that carrying into something. The fact that the Garden is going to be a rocking place. Oh, man. The amount of support and just the fans and how this revitalization is happening in front of us, and it's reminding us of when we would be standing outside of Foot Lockers, to get shoes and all that nostalgia period of time. I definitely think, I could see that. I could see that happening.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised either way. But based on just you asking a question in the moment, for whatever reason in my gut, that's what I see.
Yeah, am I sorry about my team? Yeah, but low key, who don't want to see the Knicks finally return to glory and the Garden becomes? I mean, I'm interested to see how that plays out. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I just want to know how New York is gonna respond. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It'd be fun to watch.
I have that pick too, Chris. I think that Shea is just a little bit more polished, and then Ant-Man, and I think that he's going to lead his team over Ant-Man. So I see on the West, I see that happening, but I also see Brunson and them boys because they've been battle tested. They've gone through the Celtics. And he's shown that he has that grit to fight through it all. And he kind of has that, that toughness around the edges that I like to see. Yeah. I think that's going to make for that's going to be a great series. And I think that's what's going to happen. And I think moving forward, just think about it. Because, I'm partial though, because I understand like what it would do for, the NBA for the Knicks to win a championship. But I'm looking over there And I'm looking at your boy over there in OKC, the GM. He's been there. Sam Presti's been around there for what? For how long?
He's been there for quite some
Since
time.
the Baby Thunder, like he put that
And
together.
he has built. Yeah.
Right. I think that he needs it too, because to be around that long and all the teams that he's had, you think about those the potential championship teams that he had. I think it's time. I wouldn't mind seeing him win one either. So I just, I mean, just for that alone, because I don't know think about it, if they don't win, if they don't make it to the finals, I don't know. Do you keep Sam Presti? And I wouldn't want him to see him.
Well, you absolutely do. He wouldn't.
He's not the reason.
His paperwork wouldn't be able to be processed before he had a new job.
Right.
Yeah.
But at some point, like, goodness gracious, man, that dude has had some super talent around him. So I wouldn't feel bad about him getting one. And
but I can never blame him for the failure of that team. He put them together. He did his part.
Yeah.
Now you got to go out there and earn your keep. I can never blame. But what I will say,
if you think back, the Serge Ibaka's, the Hardens, that was management's impression of being a small market team and not willing to pay.
Yep.
It wasn't a matter of the team not being successful. They just got to a point where it's like, we are not equipped for salary cap. We've made a decision. We've drawn a line in the sand. This is not going to happen for us. And so it was no fault of his in that regard, but I just think now it's a different NBA. The money's different. Now it's time to, like, okay, we've got the team and we've got the pieces. And I know we kind of just bypassed them, but it wouldn't surprise me if Ant got there either. Like, I genuinely could see a world where they just, if he goes off, if Rudy Gobert has him some moment, this will be interesting. Yeah. I do think the Thunder overall just have more pieces, and this more specifically more defensive pieces collectively that's going to get them over the hump. But if Ant got hot and he got some help, I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. This really is one of those years where it's like, and I can't remember the last time we've been able to say that.
Yeah. Where it's just been
truly
is it's like literally anybody's to win.
It's like, no, if they get there, they're winning, right? Yeah. But
that's how it was generally. Like the Celtics, we knew when the Celtics made it, they were gonna, So but this is the case, and this is gonna be listen. The league needs this.
I'm thinking about it. Shit.
I think the league needs this.
Only because when I think about it, and I'm sorry, Robert, but I forget that Pacers have looked really impressive because you mentioned being battle tested.
Yes.
They beat Giannis. And this is not me taking shots at They beat Giannis and a Cleveland team who was without part of the series, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley even.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did not play. I mean, they have not faced any.
Yeah, Indiana would have got by them.
You know what? Now I think I'm not sure if they faced no one at their best. The level of competition has not quite been there for them. I mean, again, I guess that's why they've looked so dominant.
Only play who's in front of you, but
and that's fair.
That's fair. Not been
not.
Right.
It wasn't the Celtics. Even in the position they were in, like for them to clear the Celtics, who still had some level of fight in them, and still were a team good enough to at least force a Game 7 and to blow them out in Game 6, so it doesn't go back to Boston. So you ain't got to be
Tatum going down. It was kind of like
that definitely okay. That was certainly bad morale for the Celtics, and it was good momentum for the Knicks. But I mean, you got like I said, OKC, Minnesota, both teams who you can't take nothing away from them. You know what I mean? Minnesota, you might be able to say similar to the Pacers. They got past the Warriors team without Steph Curry.
Yep, totally.
You know what I mean? True. Like, but it wasn't like he missed the entire series. So even then, you got to give them credit for beating the Warriors.
Yeah, and they were supposed to lose to the Lakers by all accounts.
Oh yeah,
let the world tell it.
That was helpful.
In five,
just about
five.
Yeah,
but they just don't look as polished as a team as OKC to me, though.
Well, they're not, because they're not. Their continuity isn't the same, and they don't have as much in the defensive department. They have moments. Rudy Gobert is going to be consistent, but nobody else on that team is going to be a lockdown
have
defender.
A game, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that it's how sporadic they are, but any given game,
it's going to be. I'm excited, man. I'm very excited.
It will be something. But a Knicks championship, right on right before we have Mike returning to the booth for NBA on NBC.
Yeah,
Like that'd be that's interesting. That's almost a return to our heyday, the
glory days. Yeah,
the glory days, man.
Sure.
That'd be something.
Yeah, the energy that'll be if New York makes it to the finals. Those New York in the Garden games. Oh my goodness! Like that's the energy that I think that
we saw that in that closeout game with Boston, right? Where it was
they acted a fool.
Jumping,
seismic. Like it would register on the Richter scale, like literally.
Yeah.
And you wonder, just with that atmosphere, you wonder why more players have not went to New York, given that level of feedback from the fans.
Ownership.
You would, it's got to be, it's just ownership. Fumbling the ball every chance they get.
Being able to see that, I mean, we knew that when Kevin Durant was like, "No, I'd rather try and figure out and build Brooklyn than to go to the Knicks."
Yeah,
no doubt.
But maybe that'll help Brunson being there. And they actually do get to the promised land and finish the job, maybe that'll change things.
It would.
And because it'll be long overdue. I think that the league, they need this, and I think they need for New York to win because when you think about the season as a whole, up until the Luka trade, it was lackluster. It was a disastrous season for the NBA. Yeah. So I think that the ending like that, to ending with like New York, I think that it'll keep that energy because if you think about it, let's just say Indiana wins. I don't know if it'll ring as loud versus at the very least you see OKC winning. You'll say Shea, he's the guy, he's the next it, or let's say Ant-Man goes and wins. He's there, all the commercials behind it. Yeah. But if you do
the beginning of the dynasty is right, trying to sell it with OKC. For sure.
Yeah, there's different narratives that you can take on.
Yeah,
with those.
Indy is a harder story
Indiana,
to write, no doubt. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's a harder story to write.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Halliburton isn't looked at like that amongst his peers in the NBA, family at large, like he's the next. Even though he's playing great,
the most overrated player by players.
I was telling her earlier, I think that's been his motivation. I think he's out to prove, I'm the most overrated player. And these are your peers who are voting. That's how they see you. Oh, that's how you're okay. I got you. I got y'all. I think that's what it's been for him.
So.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, we'll keep everybody in the loop. I mean, this is going to be. I mean, the league, for how it started, is going to finish well. No matter who wins it, is going to be something for someone. It'll be either the small town victory or it'll be a return to the glory days. You got the WNBA that's jumping off and popping now. So I think basketball right now in this moment is actually not in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So it'll just be interesting for us to see how it all plays out, and we'll keep you up to date and how it unfolds.
Yes, sir.
What else, Scott? Any closing thoughts, fellas?
Everybody, let's really go ahead and support these, support the ladies. Let's check out that WNBA. It's real exciting. It's looking good. The narratives are there. The energy is there. The talent is there. We just got to participate. And listen, I've been at fault because, in previous years, I have not been engaged with it, and I'll admit that, but it's been real good. If you love basketball, you'll love what the women are doing over there. So that's it.
And not as dramatic, but they've had a number of storylines and different movement during the summer, or in their offseason, rather, being a summer league. But, you had a bunch of guys, a bunch of players leaving. Jewel Lloyd, you got Alyssa Thomas, you got a bunch of movement in players. That Indiana team has the pieces it needs around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston now. Yep. I mean, they're going to make some noise. I don't know how much Chicago, despite all the fanfare and the names they got, now adding Haley Van Lith. They got, obviously, you got Angel Reese, who's probably one of the more marquee players, if for no other reason, just for her personality off the court. But hell, that's a part of it. You got to have a presence, not just on the court, because there are players who can ball, but they're not superstars off the court. They don't draw a crowd. They can't sell tickets. They're not exciting. I mean, but you got a number. I want to see what Paige Beckers does this year. Even the Sparks made a couple of moves. You got Cameron Brink coming back now. You got,
Kelsey.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Kelsey Plum. Yeah, that was a major move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rakia Jackson in her second year, who was looking stellar as a rookie last year. I thought she was in that short list of running for a rookie of the year with Angel Reese you've got it all coming together for the ladies, man. Is it perfect?
Yeah.
Have they arrived fully? No. But but they need more eyes on them. Like you have an influx of talent coming in on all levels, just about. You know what I mean? You have girls generating interest at the high school level. You know what I mean? You got girls, the girls, they're McDonald's all American games, and they're I forget what's that game they play in New York in the park, East-West game that they have. Like it's an outdoors kind of hard. Point is that they got a lot going for them from the high school level up to the pros. Yeah. I mean, hey man, they finally get it together. They figure out a way. Now there's no excuse. They have the players, they have the personalities, they have the talent. It's all coming together. So, the
media is on their side.
Yeah, man.
Check the commercials out.
Yeah.
I'm loving the commercials. And I say, okay, so they have personality. They're showing the personality, and we know they had it.
They're finding their stride. Yeah. So
right.
we just got to shine a light on them. You give them some attention. If you love basketball, you'll appreciate it. If you don't, hey, you're going to find a way to be on some sucker shit and make it about women and sex and some otherness. Y'all have y'all fun with that. Y'all niggas weirdos, but do you know what I'm saying? Go off, have your fun with it.
Right.
But, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. In terms of I'm watching. You should lock in too, and lock in us. We've been gone for a while, but we back. We'll be more consistent. Yep. I promise you.
Right on.
Yeah,
right
on. Own it. We own it. Real adult things was happening. Please forgive us for it. That's all.
Life. We ain't getting
adult things. We was lifing right quick. But we here though.
We're not getting a hefty salary to do this full time. So until then, you know what I mean. We got to make it do what it do when we can make it do what it do. That's just what it is. Right.
For sure. Last thing for me, I would just say, hey, remember to take care of yourselves. I know Mental Health Month is, I believe, this month, but Men's Mental Health Month is next month. So take care of yourself, take care of your body. We just got news that former President Joe Biden has an aggressive form of prostate cancer that just came out. So just be good to yourself. Check on yourself.
Oh, yeah. For gentlemen our age and older.
And we all know it, yeah. So
we at that age where you're going to
look out for one another.
It's that unpleasant visit you got to make. I got to schedule mine. Ain't nobody looking forward to it. I get it.
Yeah.
That violation doctor visit. It is
take
what
a
it
whole
is.
day off from work just to go ahead and recover from that.
In the words of Warren G, you got to do it. If you want to stay healthy. You know what I mean? So like Chris said, I definitely echo those sentiments in that 100%. Yeah. Take care of yourself, mental health, your health in general. It's all you got. You only get one body, one life. Ain't no respawning. This is it.
Right.
For sure.
All right. Well, till next time, we out.
All right, peoples.
Peace.